dear Rector, Professor Dr. Lutfi Sunar, esteemed guests, distinguished speakers, honored professors, and valued students. It is a pleasure and honor to welcome you all to today's event, A Perspective for a Common Future, Macedonia's accession process and EU-Türkiye relations here at the campus of International Balkan University. We are grateful for your presence and eager to engage in discussions that will contribute to our shared vision for the region's future. We proudly want to express that International Balkan University has signed a grant agreement with the European Commission for a Jean Monnet project on EU integration and the Western Balkans, led by a project team which will develop an interdisciplinary teaching module to deepen understanding of the EU's impact on the region. As we gather today, we find ourselves at a crucial point in history, where Macedonia and Turkey stand poised to advance regional stability, prosperity, and unity within the European context. This event seeks to address the dynamic and evolving relationships that both Macedonia and Turkey have with the European Union, each craving a path of integration and cooperation with the goal of shared, peaceful, and prosperous future. We are deeply honored to welcome distinguished speakers from Macedonia, Hungary, and Turkey. Each of you brings invaluable insights and expertise to this dialogue, contributing to a vision of regional cohesion and European integration. We extend our gratitude to our esteemed keynote speakers, Mr. Orhan Murtazani, Minister of European Affairs of Macedonia, whose work represents a dedication to our nation's progress on the EU accession path. His Excellency Andras Klein, Ambassador of Hungary, whose nation has always been a strong advocate of EU enlargement, and His Excellency Fatih Ulusoy, Ambassador of Turkey, whose commitment to fostering ties between Turkey and the EU remains a vital component of regional stability. Therefore, our agenda promises engaging insights from regional leaders and experts. We'll begin with opening remarks by our rector, the valued Professor Dr. Lutfi Sunar, followed by a keynote speeches from Mr. Orhan Murtazani, the Minister of European Affairs of Macedonia, His Excellency Andras Klein, the Ambassador of Hungary, and His Excellency Fatih Ulusoy, the Ambassador of Turkey. After a short break, we will host two insightful panel discussions. The first panel, moderated by Assistant Professor Dr. Ivan Ivanov of International Balkan University, will focus on reinvigorating European integration of the Balkans with Turkey as a stabilizing force. Joining this discussion are Mr. Dragan Tilev, State Counselor for EU Affairs of Macedonia, Dr. Simonida Kacarska, Director of the European Policy Institute in Skopje, and Professor Dr. Ali Resul Usul from Anadolu University. The second panel will delve into the impact of the EU relations between Turkey and Macedonia. Moderated by Assistant Professor Dr. Flamur Ismaili of International Balkan University, this discussion will feature Assistant Professor Dr. Enes Bayraklı from Türk-Alman University and Assistant Leposava Ognjanoska Stavrovska of International Balkan University. We are privileged to host this esteemed group of speakers, academics, and policymakers who bring diverse perspectives and deep expertise to these vital discussions. To officially begin our event, it is my pleasure to invite to the stage our esteemed rector, Professor Dr. Lutfi Sunar, to share his vision and welcome message. Please join me in welcoming him.
Dear Mr. Orhan Murtazani, Minister of European Affairs of North Macedonia, His Excellency Andras Klein, Ambassador of Hungary, His Excellency Fatih Ulusoy, Ambassador of Turkey, His Excellency of Deonin Mayadini, Ambassador of Albania, His Excellency of Angelo, Ambassador of Bulgaria, ambassadors, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, honorable representatives from academia, government, and civil society, and our dear students. It's a profound privilege to welcome each of you to International Balkan University for this significant conference on a perspective for a common future. This gathering of minds, expertise, and ambition represents an exceptional opportunity to engage in discussions that hold the power to shape the course of our shared future. For both North Macedonia and Turkey, the European Union has long symbolized a space of promise, progress, and shared ideals. For North Macedonia, EU membership stands as a realization of its aspirations to contribute actively to a peaceful, prosperous Europe. For Turkey, with this deep-rooted history, dynamic society, and strategic importance, the EU represents an opportunity to deepen her long-standing connections to the continent and to reinforce its role as a stabilizing force within a turbulent geopolitical landscape. The journey toward EU integration has certainly been one of the resilience and dedication for both of our nations. While this path has encouraged complex challenges, including moments of pause and reconsiderations, we gather today at a moment where both Turkey and North Macedonia are poised to reaffirm their commitment to this process. The European Union's recent pivot back to enlargement discussions signals a renewed openness and integration, a stance that acknowledges the critical importance of partnership not just within the EU's current borders, but across its borders neighborhood. As a bridge between East and West, Turkey brings an invaluable perspective and presence to the EU's vision. Also, North Macedonia, strategically positioned within the Balkans and rich in cultural and historical heritage, is a similarly well-placed to bring fresh insights, energy, and collaborative potential to European project. Together, these nations can act as dynamic partners in advancing regional stability, shared economic growth, and a Europe that is inclusive and resilient. At this pivotal moment, it is vital that we examine not only the hurdles of accession process, but also the immense benefits that EU membership holds for North Macedonia and Turkey. Integration into the EU will strengthen economic and social stability, foster growth opportunities, and enhances democratic frameworks, benefits that extend beyond borders to contribute to a more cohesive and peaceful Europe. Such an achievement would not only align with the aspirations of our peoples, but would also enhance the EU's capacity to respond to challenges that demand collective strength, such as security, migration, climate change, and technological innovation. International Balkan University, as an institution devoted to academic excellence and intercultural dialogue, stands firmly committed to contributing to these conversations. We believe that a thriving university is one that not only serves its students, but also addresses the broader societal questions of our time. This conference is a testament of our role as a center for knowledge, debate, and connection, where the minds and hearts of many can come together to envision practical solutions for a stronger, more inclusive Europe. Today, we are honored to host distinguished speakers, diplomats, scholars, and young minds who bring with them the diverse perspectives and profound expertise. On our discussions, we will not only explore policies and processes, but also seek ways to nurture understandings and unity. For it is through these efforts that we can lay the groundwork for a Europe that is both culturally rich and strategically robust, a Europe that values each nation's unique contributions and works collectively toward peace and prosperity. The discussions that follow will undoubtedly be insightful and, we hope, transformative. As we delve into these critical themes, let us keep in mind that our work here goes beyond theoretical debate. We are laying down pathways for cooperation, trust, and shared advancement that will serve as the foundation for future generations. I would like to thank each of you for your presence, your insights, and your commitment to shaping a future that truly embodies the spirit of unity. Thank you.
I now invite to the stage Mr. Orhan Murtazani, Minister of European Affairs of Macedonia, to share his insights.
Distinguished Rector, Excellencies, esteemed colleagues and honored guests. Today, as we gather to discuss North Macedonia's accession journey alongside EU-Türkiye relations, it is both timely and essential to underscore that it is a journey deeply entwined with our shared vision of Europe whole, free, and at peace. For North Macedonia, our engagement in the accession process is rooted in the vision of a future that is inclusive and prosperous, united in shared goals and mutual respect. At this critical juncture in European history, the prospect of our accession reflects not merely an alignment of policies, but a convergence of destinies. In our interconnected world, the success of one nation in its pursuit of democratic values, stability, and prosperity reinforces the collective strength of all. Today, North Macedonia stands as a fully committed partner in the shared endeavor of achieving stability and cohesion in the whole region. We have now entered a crucial phase of addressing the opening benchmarks for Cluster 1 on rule of law and fundamentals. Additionally, we have put forward roadmaps that address judicial reforms, minority rights, and public administration reforms. Each of these is both a milestone and a commitment, a demonstration of our capacity to enact genuine, sustained change. This year's progress report, delivered by the European Commission just a week ago, reaffirms that North Macedonia is prepared to advance confidently toward the accession. Yet, while our progress is substantial, we are also acutely aware that the EU integration must be more than a series of technical benchmarks. The aspiration of the Western Balkans cannot remain in perpetual stasis. As the EU deliberates on the next phase of enlargement, these discussions unfold against an intricate geopolitical landscape. Recent European leadership statements highlight enlargement as a geopolitical imperative, a principle of region exemplified through its commitment and progress. The emphasis on the accelerating accession process, strengthening pre-accession reforms, and addressing bilateral issues with focused diplomacy underscores a deeper understanding of enlargement as an imperative, not merely a policy choice. Today, as Speaker, I would like to address the important theme of EU-Türkiye relations, as highlighted by the title of this conference. I am honored to recognize the partnership we share with Turkey, a nation navigating its own lengthy and complex journey toward EU membership. While Turkey's accession process has faced significant challenges, its support for North Macedonia's aspirations underscores the importance of regional cooperation in our collective pursuit of stability and progress in the Western Balkans. Turkey's involvement serves as a reminder that North Macedonia's integration is not solely a national goal, but part of a broader regional endeavor that strengthens our shared objectives and enhances our collective position within the European framework. North Macedonia is not simply a future member, but a present partner in the European cause. North Macedonia's path forward is integrally linked to the stability and prosperity of the entire Western Balkans. Our commitment to the common regional market and the Berlin process reaffirms our readiness to contribute to regional cohesion and economic integration, positioning the Western Balkans as a vital component of Europe's future. Our aspirations for membership should no longer be viewed as distant hopes, but as logical and timely outcome of a shared vision. As a final point, as we reflect on our collective journey toward a unified Europe, it is our shared hope that the path of North Macedonia and the Western Balkans will continue to inspire the future generations. The journey embodies our commitment to unity, collaboration, and shared values that bind us. Thank you.
It is my privilege now to invite His Excellency Andras Klein, Ambassador of Hungary, to the stage to share his remarks.
Esteemed Mr. Minister, dear organizers, dear colleagues from the diplomatic corpus, ladies and gentlemen. I will be a little bit longer than the previous speakers because I would like to share with you two issues. The one is how we see the situation of the enlargement in general, and secondly, if you allow me, I will just say some words about the Hungarian presidency. Usually for an ambassador or for a diplomat to take part in such events, it's not so easy. The reason is mainly because we are supposed to follow very strictly the official positions of our governments. And because of that, we cannot be always as sincere as we would like to be. That is one of the problems. And the second one is that this can be very boring. So if you allow me, I will be now a bit less diplomatic, and I will try to be a bit more sincere as usual. So the situation of the enlargement in general. After February 2022, so after the Russian aggression against Ukraine started, I remember at that time that many European politicians, and we could read at that time many analyses, that now, finally, it's time for the European Union to become geopolitical and to start to think geopolitically. And as a diplomat at that time, I remember that I was rather optimistic. Now we are in November 2024, and if we ask to ourselves the question, what substantial has happened in the field of the enlargement the last 2 years, there is only one honest question: not too much. What is the reason? And this is a difficult and complex question. And maybe I would like to tell you 3 reasons that we see in Budapest. What is the reason for the fact that the enlargement process is so slow? The first one, that there is a lack of political decision concerning the enlargement in the European Union. My experience is that, for instance, the Commission, it's relatively like-minded. The Commission of the European Union is playing a positive role when we speak about the enlargement. But the problem is the Council. The problem are the member states. And whatever they say, whatever they communicate, the problem is that in some very important Western European capitals, the positive political decision concerning the enlargement hasn't been taken. So this is one of the reasons which we see as a problem today. The second one is a more complex one. Some countries in the Western Europe today have a very serious problem of illegal migration. Because of that, the issue of the enlargement, politically, it's not a popular topic. It's unfair. It's unfair, and it's very sad. But the situation is the following: that unfortunately, many European citizens living in Western Europe don't make difference between illegal migrants coming from outside Europe, between people who are working in their countries coming from the candidate state countries, and even between EU citizens who are working legally in their country, coming from Central and Eastern Europe and coming from EU member countries. So this is a second reason which makes the issue of the enlargement difficult. And the third one is that when we speak about the European Union as an entity, I would say that as an economical entity, even if today the European Union is facing very serious problems of competitiveness, but even though the European Union as an economic entity is a success story, is successful. But when we speak about foreign policy or security, the European Union is not an efficient entity. And that is why we can think on geopolitically on paper, but not in the reality. So these are, according to our analysis, three very important problems which we face in the European Union. Last week, we had an important international event. We had the American elections. As a consequence of these elections, we will have a new president and new people in the American administration. And even if we don't know today what exactly will happen, we cannot exclude at all that soon we will face a new foreign political and security political reality. Let's not include that. Immediately, it's very interesting that we could witness declarations coming from the European Union saying that now it's time for the European Union to think geopolitically, and now it's time for the European Union to strengthen itself. So we have the very same declarations that we had 2 years ago. I just hope that in the near future we will not be on the very same level concerning the enlargement where we are now. Because the questions arise, I think, immediately. So, okay, so the European Union must strengthen its security, by its own. Is there a better tool to secure the security of the vicinity of the European Union than a viable and real European path for the countries of the Western Balkans? No, there is no. Second, we must strengthen our competitiveness. Okay. Is an eminent economical interest of the European Union the integration of the Western Balkans? Yes, it is. And also we can ask ourselves, is there a better tool for the European Union to strengthen its influence in the Western Balkans than a viable and real EU path for in the Western Balkans? No, there is no. So I just hope that in the future, in such conference, we will be able to debate on real criterias, real reforms requested from the Western Balkan countries, and we will have less debate on sometimes kind of fake criterias, and we will have less problems with positions taken by these different institutions of the European Union, which even the people who wrote this decision don't understand it and don't know what the consequence of these decisions will be. So let's remain optimistic, and let's remain that this time it will be different than in the previous times. So this is about the enlargement in general. Now about, if you allow me very briefly about the Hungarian presidency, you know very well that Hungary is a like-minded country and we support the enlargement of the European Union. It's not only because we like the countries of the Western Balkans and we are good friends with you. It's very simple. It's our eminent security interest to have a stable Balkans, and it's our economical interest. So when we support the Western Balkans, it's also our interest. We had and we will have some technical results during our presidency. Just let me quote some of them. So first of all, during the Hungarian presidency, Albania was able to organize its first technical IGC and opened its first cluster. And we hope, and we will do whatever we can in December for Albania to be able to open the second cluster, the cluster number 6. We also hope, and we are optimistic, that in December we will have a technical IGC with Montenegro, and they will be able to close, according to my colleagues, I was told yesterday, at least four chapters. Then, the 18th of December, we will have a EU Western Balkan summit in Brussels, and I hope that there will be important and substantial political messages to the Western Balkan. Then, during our presidency, the reform agendas were accepted, and here, by the way, I should say that one of the best evaluated reform agenda was that of North Macedonia, which make possible the money of the European Growth Plan to come to the countries of the Western Balkans. And in the case of North Macedonia, if the Macedonian government will be able to absorb and to tackle it, would mean that around 800 million euros will come to this country. I would say almost a Hungarian loan, but a little less. But this can be substantial. Politically, what I can tell you that, once again, let's hope that we will have a geopolitical thinking in the European Union. The atmosphere, we had a meeting in Budapest, the 7th of November, first of the European political leaders, and then the 8th we have the an informal European Council meeting. It was interesting to witness that 2 days after the American elections, everybody came to Budapest, and we are very happy with that. But the message is that, once again, there is a chance that there will be a geopolitical thinking. And finally, just allow me to mention you some concrete issues concerning North Macedonia. We will do whatever we can to promote the accession process of North Macedonia. It does not depend on us, but till there is any possibility, we will not give up. However, speaking about North Macedonia, so I know that the fact that Albania has advanced and North Macedonia not yet, politically and from the point of view of prestige, is not a pleasant fact. However, I would like to draw your attention that the report of the European Commission concerning North Macedonia, the reform agenda, they give this country the real path, what kind of reforms are and will be needed from North Macedonia in order to advance to its European path. And once there will be, and if North Macedonia will do the reforms needed, once there will be an IGC, I am sure that pretty quickly recoupling process can occur with North Macedonia. So the situation is not easy, the situation is complicated, but believe me that if you will do the reforms, if North Macedonia will do the reforms needed, if North Macedonia will be able to use properly the money which is offered to your country, you haven't lost too much till now, and still you have good possibilities to become as soon as possible a member of the European Union. So very briefly, that is what I wanted to share with you, and thank you very much. And I know, I'm a Hungarian diplomat, I'm used to that, so usually we speak a little different than others, but thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you all the best. And thank you for the invitation.
Last but not least, please join me in welcoming His Excellency Fatih Ulusoy, Ambassador of Turkey to Macedonia, to the stage.
dear Minister, dear Rector, dear colleagues, ambassadors, friends, diplomats, students. First of all, a big thank you to Balkan University for organizing this panel and inviting us here. And just a quick note to the students that you have just heard an excellent diplomatic lesson from Ambassador Andras. He made a very delicate speech in a difficult territory. So I really praise him for an excellent speech. I will touch upon a number of issues in my speech. I will look at the global and the strategic perspective. I will also touch upon the Turkish accession process and, of course, the Balkans. We all know the world has been going through an enormous transformation, and tectonic shifts in every sphere have been marking the last 2 decades. Conflicts, polarization, terrorism, mass migration movements, economic slowdown have been plaguing our planet. Our world is more connected than ever, that no country or bloc is immune from these global threats and risks. Ongoing global transformations have also deeply affected the EU. Thus, today, one of the primary objectives of the EU is to enhance its global influence by developing new policies that would help adapt itself to the changing landscape. So that's why the EU needs fresh energy and dynamism. However, tackling all threats and challenges and adapting itself to the changing landscape requires swift and coordinated action. Historically, in terms of spreading the transformative power of the EU to its environment and also having a major role in the global arena, the enlargement policy is often referred to as the most important foreign policy instrument. And enlargement is now back at the top of the EU agenda with significant geopolitical undertones. Indeed, since the war in Ukraine, the EU has taken historical steps in its enlargement policy. The decision to start the accession negotiations with Bosnia-Herzegovina last year, the official start of the accession negotiations with Ukraine and Moldova, and recently with Albania are significant steps. Such a positive momentum should be supported by a credible accession process and a strong political will to be displayed by the EU. In essence, let's highlight one important thing. 10 enlargement countries should be treated equally. However, artificial divisions in EU's enlargement policy, such as Western Balkans, and differentiated approaches to that end are also not useful. Turkey, also a Balkan country itself, is not a rival nor an external power interfering in the region. Turkey is an integral part of the Balkans and wishes to bring new strength to the EU as a future member. We support all initiatives that aim to foster peace and stability in the Balkans. In this regard, we value the Berlin process, even though we are not included, due to the artificial separation between Turkey and the rest of the Balkans. We hope that it paves the way for concrete steps in the membership processes of regional countries. At the same time, we are in the opinion that regional solutions are very much needed to overcome the problems in the region. Balkan countries should decide and act together for a common future. So we advocate for regional ownership for regions' issues and challenges. Turkey enjoys an exemplary position and strong relations with each and every Balkan country, given the fraternal bonds between our countries and societies, deeply rooted in common history and cultural ties. Due to this special position, we are able to talk constructively to all parties, irrespective of ethnic and religious background in the Balkans. Priority of Turkey is to maintain peace, stability, and prosperity in the entire Balkans, including North Macedonia. We follow proactive and inclusive policies in this regard. The resolution of conflicts and disputes among Balkan countries through dialogue is of vital importance. We believe that keeping the EU perspective alive in the Balkan region is of significance, especially bearing in mind the geopolitical developments. The increasingly complex nature of regional and global challenges requires also a fresh look at Turkey-EU relations. With its proactive and result-oriented foreign policy, Turkey seeks to contribute to a more effective, inclusive, fair, and secure international system. In this regard, Turkey aims to reduce conflicts, promote peace and security, strengthen political stability, and enhance economic cooperation and development in its region, Europe, and beyond. That being said, the EU accession process continues to be a strategic priority for Turkey. The European Commission released the 2024 enlargement strategy and the country reports on October 30. In the country report, it is recognized that Turkey has already aligned with many EU standards. We welcome the EU's recent re-engagement efforts, as also highlighted in the report. At this point, I want to mention and praise the positive approach during the Hungarian presidency. The recent European Political Community Summit in Hungary witnessed a very useful and fruitful exchange among our leaders. Once again, it showed the potential benefits of Turkey's membership to the EU. And strengthening Turkey-EU relations definitely creates a win-win situation, bringing significant benefits not only to Turkey and the EU, but also to our region and beyond. Preserving Turkey's membership perspective is vital for the future of the EU and Turkey-EU relations. And that is why the EU should not let any more of its strategic interests be harmed by a few member states that abuse membership solidarity and the veto right. At this point, I want to refer to 2016. In 2014, we had an agreement with the EU to update, to modernize our customs union, which dates back to 1996. And the Commission requested authorization for this. However, the Commission was not granted this authorization in 2016, so we are still continuing with our customs union dated back to 1996. So these are, just some practical results. We expect the removal of artificial political obstacles against Turkey's EU membership and the EU to display a constructive, sincere and transparent attitude towards our country. We are determined to enhance our relations based on concrete and mutually beneficial proposals. In this regard, we expect the EU to end political blockages on Turkey-EU relations, including measures adopted by the Council against Turkey on 15 July 2019. We expect the implementation of the joint communication without any further delay or additional preconditions. We stand ready to work with the EU based on the following priorities: strengthening Turkey's EU perspective through revitalizing the accession process. Secondly, lifting all outstanding restrictions for the European Investment Bank operations across all sectors in Turkey. Third, starting Turkey-EU Customs Union modernization negotiations without further delay. And the last, revitalizing all structural dialogue mechanisms, Turkey-EU high-level dialogue meetings and summits, and other relevant meetings, along with other candidate countries. Dear guests, it is clear that overcoming the problems in the Turkey-EU relationship will have significant benefits, not only for Turkey and the EU, but for our region, the international system, and global peace. We believe that Turkey's membership will enlarge the vision and influence of the EU as a global actor, allowing for more geostrategic thinking and action. So just imagine an EU with Turkey as a member state. What would be the meaning and the strength of EU in Central Asia, in Africa, in Middle East, and also Balkans? Therefore, it is essential that Turkey-EU relations reach a certain level of strength and the EU develop a fair and principled approach towards Turkey. Thank you very much all for your attention.
I now invite the rector, Dr. Lutfi Sunar, to deliver symbolic gifts to our esteemed guests. We will begin by delivering the gift to Mr. Orhan Murtazani. Please stand up to collect your gift.
Okey, oraya gelsem de. Şimdi atsaydım. Nasıl olur? İleri doğru getireceğim ama.
I now invite His Excellency Andras Klein, the Ambassador of Hungary, to collect his gift.
These paintings are done by our Athens design faculty.
The other way around.
This one.
Now I invite His Excellency Mr. Fatih Hulusi, Ambassador of Turkey, to collect his gift.
These paintings are done by our students in Art and Design Faculty, and we are using. Thank you.
Thank you for your valuable insights. In the name of International Balkan University, all four of the speeches were insightful and valuable. We will now have a short break, and we will continue at 11:30 with the first panel discussion. The short break is for coffee and networking. Thank you.